A phone call ends a Coach of the Year's tenure. The Lakers and Nets hook up for the first big trade of the season. And the NBA's Christmas Day ratings tell an attractive story about the league's future. I'm your host Kyle, and welcome to Front Office Files, where we're breaking down the biggest business moves in basketball from the past 2 weeks. From coaching changes to creative cap management, let's dive into the money moves transforming the NBA landscape. Before we dive into our main stories, let's rapid fire through some notable moves. The NBA is raising its team debt limit by $150 million to $475 million, allowing teams to borrow against their franchise's values as collateral. This increase reflects the league's soaring valuations and a new $77 billion media rights deal, potentially enabling teams to fund new growth strategies through increased leverage. Check out the recent video we made on how much NBA teams are really worth right here. The Detroit Pistons executed some creative cap management with Paul Reed, waiving and then re-signing him to create $14 million in cap space. The move positions Detroit as a potential third team in trade deadline deals with the ability to absorb significant salary. Damian Lillard and Adidas agreed to a lifetime contract extension, joining LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry as the only active NBA players with lifetime shoe deals. Dame Dollar will be getting a lot of dollars. Mixed news for Luka Doncic. He announced a new foundation promoting youth basketball access globally, but his Dallas home was burglarized in an incident that follows a recent NBA memo warning players about a wave of break-ins targeting athletes. The NBA officially announced its new All-Star Game format for 2025, featuring a 4-team tournament with 3 games to 40 points each and $1.8 million in prize money. University of Miami head coach Jim Larrañaga resigned after over 50 years in coaching, citing NIL challenges after a conversation where an agent indicated he needed $1.1 million to, quote, get involved with a recruit. The move shows the pressure NIL is putting on traditional coaching models, though some note the irony given Larrañaga built his 2023 Final Four team through NIL advantages. The Phoenix Suns introduced a new $2 value menu for home games, a significant shift from $8 waters and a $7 bag of chips. While the move has drawn praise, it also highlights the industry's historically inflated concession pricing. Alex Caruso and the Oklahoma City Thunder agreed to a 4-year, $81 million contract extension, an unprecedented investment in a defensive specialist averaging just 20 minutes per game. Heat President Pat Riley made a rare public statement declaring, "We are not trading Jimmy Butler." This is a very interesting situation, and Basketball Business will have the latest updates here and on our Twitter page. Our first story takes us to the holiday season. The NBA's Christmas Day Showcase delivered a compelling narrative about the league's media future. The 5-game slate averaged 5.34 million viewers, up 84% from 2023, with Lakers-Warriors pulling in 7.91 million viewers in prime time. Disney experimented with an innovative broadcast approach for the Knicks-Spurs opener, offering an animated alternate telecast on Disney Plus that reimagined the game on Main Street USA with Disney characters integrated throughout. In a post-game interview, LeBron James emphatically declared Christmas is our day, highlighting the NBA's historical claim to the holiday, even as the NFL encroaches on their territory.
I love the NFL, but Christmas is our day.
While the overall numbers seem impressive, context is crucial. The NFL's 2 Christmas games averaged 24.2 million viewers each, despite being streamed on Netflix rather than traditional broadcast TV. This year's success was partly circumstantial. The NBA benefited from broadcasting all games on ABC rather than splitting them between ABC and ESPN, and faced less competition with the NFL limiting its Christmas presence to 2 games instead of 3. but the strong performance challenges the prevailing narrative about the NBA's declining viewership. The league's regular season ratings have been down 25% year over year and 48% since 2012, sparking intense debate about everything from load management to three-point shooting to media fragmentation. But Christmas Day demonstrated that when the product is compelling and accessible, audiences will tune in. 7 of the 10 most viewed players across NBA social media were in action, suggesting the league's star-driven marketing strategy remains effective when properly leveraged. The Sacramento Kings shocked the NBA world by firing head coach Mike Brown less than halfway through his 3rd season. The dismissal came after a loss to the Detroit Pistons, where the Kings blew a 10-point lead in the final 3 minutes. But the manner of Brown's firing tells us more about the Kings organization than any on-court struggles. Brown was asked to run Friday's practice and address the media before being informed of his termination over the phone while driving to the team plane. As Denver coach Michael Malone put it,
"No class, no balls." That's what I'll say about that.
The Kings didn't even give their most successful coach since before the iPhone was invented the dignity of an in-person conversation. This wasn't just about one bad loss or a 5-game slide. League sources indicate growing tension between Brown and star point guard De'Aaron Fox, with Fox's agent Rich Paul meeting with Kings management earlier this month to discuss his client's future. Brown's public criticism of Fox's late-game foul against Detroit may have been the final straw. The timing is particularly puzzling given that extension talks between Brown and the Kings had initially collapsed in May before being revived over the summer, resulting in a 3-year extension through 2027. Now, just 6 months after committing to Brown long-term, Sacramento finds itself paying 2 head coaches while searching for yet another new direction. The Kings promoted assistant Doug Christie to interim head coach, fulfilling owner Vivek Ranadive's reported preference for a former player in the role. But the broader implications for the franchise are concerning. Sacramento has now cycled through 12 head coaches since 2006, with none lasting longer than Dave Yeager's 3-year stint. This perpetual instability reflects a broader truth in professional sports. Consistently underperforming franchises often share one common denominator: ownership that prioritizes quick fixes over sustainable success. The Kings, like several other struggling NBA franchises, continue to demonstrate how ownership decisions can entrench mediocrity despite changes in personnel. The first major trade of the season arrived just before the new year, with the Lakers sending D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks to Brooklyn for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. Let's break down the financial chess moves. The Lakers go from just $30,000 under the second apron to roughly $3.5 million under, while reducing their tax bill from $53.2 million to about $42 million. Meanwhile, Brooklyn drops $677,000 below the luxury tax line, preserving their eligibility for the roughly $19 million luxury tax distribution. The Nets continue stockpiling draft assets, now holding 31 draft picks over the next 7 years. More importantly, they've created $66 million in 2025 cap space, while retaining the ability to re-sign Cam Thomas. For the Lakers, this move signals their willingness to venture into the luxury tax next season to improve their current roster. They land a versatile defender in Finney-Smith without surrendering a first-round pick, bolstering their rotation on the eve of LeBron James' 40th birthday. An important technical note regarding Russell's future. Because his $18.7 million salary exceeds the non-taxpayer mid-level exception, he would be ineligible to sign with any team over the first apron following a potential buyout. This eliminates contenders like Phoenix, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Miami, and Denver as potential destinations should Brooklyn pursue that route. The Nets' decision to accept their Lakers offer over competing bids reveals their strategic priorities. Memphis had offered a heavily protected 2025 first-round pick, Luke Kennard, and John Konchar for Finney-Smith. However, Brooklyn preferred the Lakers' package of 3 second-round picks, 2 unprotected, over a potentially non-conveying first. The deal also allowed them to avoid taking on additional salary while increasing their stockpile of second-round picks to 16 over the next 7 years. As we move into 2025, several major stories are developing. January 7th marks the guarantee date for about 20 non-guaranteed contracts across the league. The center market continues to heat up, with names like Jonas Valanciunas, Nikola Vucevic, and Clint Capella potentially available. We're still awaiting news on both the Timberwolves ownership arbitration process and the Celtics sale. Over half the league has expressed interest in Cam Johnson, potentially making Brooklyn the key player at the trade deadline. Thanks for watching this mega episode of Front Office Files. If you enjoyed diving into the business side of basketball, make sure to like, comment, and share with someone who would enjoy breakdowns of the money moves behind the game. Subscribe to Basketball Business for more great content on the off-court moves that make the on-court plays. Until next time, this is Kyle with Basketball